What's the most exciting thing that could happen at a run-of-the-mill sheep farm? No matter what answer you come up with, the discovery of space junk is something hardly anyone would think of. But that's exactly what happened at this Australian farm, where this discovery has become the talk of the town. Let's find out more about it in this video, starting with the discovery itself. It was a regular day in Brad Tucker's life, an astrophysicist at the Australian National University who makes an occasional guest appearance on ABC local radio. This visit was no different, at least until he got an on-air call about an alleged alien artifact found at a local sheep farm. Now, Brad's received a number of such calls in his career, and most of them are scams. This seemed like one as well. After all, two sheep farmers from Dalgety would probably fit into the profile of people who'd make up something about UFOs and whatnot. Everyone loves their 15 minutes of fame, right? But this call was different, because this one was actually true. Not that there wasn't sufficient proof to back the caller's claims, because on the day they found the artifact, a SpaceX Dragon capsule was observed breaking apart above the farm's estimated location by multiple people. People from Canberra to Bendigo also saw and heard its re-entry in the area, and obviously, a lot of them shared it on their social media. What happened next? A personal investigation by Brad Tucker himself. It took him 2 hours to reach the farm, but his journey seemed to pay off once he found the debris. His first impression was that it looked like a burnt tree, until you had a closer look, upon which it looked like an alien obelisk. That was when he realized this was a very real incident, because after his first impression, he studied the piece further and found it to be made of composite materials designed to withstand heat, including woven carbon fiber for insulation. It even showed clear signs of the scorching due to re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. The parts even had a serial number that could be used to identify if they came from the SpaceX Dragon or not. Things definitely got interesting for him there. And miners in Wallace, the farmers who found the debris, would agree. Finding an almost 9-foot-tall burnt tree-like artifact that could very well be from an alien spaceship is something none of them imagined finding when they woke up that morning. Mick Miners has even called the experience pretty frightening. You would too if you were busy herding sheep on a four-wheeler one day and just randomly stumbled upon a fallen artifact from space on your 5,000-acre farm. Miners quickly shared a picture of the specimen with Jake Wallace, who had discovered an equally mysterious object on his farm a few days ago. And we all know what happened after that. So where's the artifact now? With the Australian Space Agency, of course. They're currently investigating the debris and its origins, which NASA has confirmed is from SpaceX's Dragon. And while they're still in control of the object, the fact remains that it landing in a crowded area is something none of them saw happening, at least not as a normal occurrence. According to Brad, space junk is usually intended to land in oceans, not on land where it could potentially hurt people or properties. He also recalled the handful of times it has happened, including the 1979 incident when U.S. space station Skylab crashed over Western Australia. There was also a Russian satellite that crashed in Canada during the 80s, and a Chinese rocket booster that landed in West Africa a few years ago. It's also not the only time SpaceX debris has landed on Earth. There was also that time when part of a booster crashed in Washington, USA last year. You'll notice the incidents are becoming a little too frequent, and Dr. Sarah Webb, another astrophysicist from Australia's Swinburne University, agrees. She went on to mention that with the growing incidence of space junk falling from the sky, it's becoming even more important to track such debris. Quoting the Chinese booster rocket incident, she mentioned that even if the atmospheric impact would burn up about 80% of the artifact, you could still basically have a car falling out of nowhere, and you'll have no way to stop it. Wait up, doesn't that make space junk dangerous? Of course it does. And after this recent incident, a spokesperson from ASA commented that the organization and its global counterparts were committed to creating long-term sustainable solutions for outer space activities, including debris mitigation. This also includes the development of a space situational awareness and debris mitigation roadmap to create guided opportunities in this area. We sure hope they're more than just big words, and some actual progress is made in the department, because the more spaceships enter orbit, the more incidents are bound to happen, especially with private companies like SpaceX adding more spacecraft to the mix. Honestly, we just hope this debris situation doesn't escalate, because that's just Avengers-level destruction in the making. And as fascinating as it is to watch that happen in the movies, the real-life version of the events may not be as cool. And what's SpaceX's take on this whole situation? If you're looking for a short answer, they're on top of the situation. But they've also commented that the incident was within the expected analyzed space of where this debris could have ended up. Basically, according to Benjamin Reed, who's SpaceX's senior director for the human spaceflight program, it's part of the process that they do with NASA and FAA, where they plan out the entry and exit of spacecraft into and out of the atmosphere to rule out such incidents. And what happened in Australia was part of the analysis prepared for that particular spaceship. SpaceX has also commented that a company representative will travel to Australia for further investigation, but some people aren't too happy with this response, including space law lecturer Duncan Blake, who's called the response vague, unsatisfying, dismissive, and a tad arrogant, especially considering considering the concern the debris falling has triggered among space experts. We already discussed the response from Brad Tucker and Sarah Webb earlier. Seems like Duncan has the same concerns as them, and that's clearly asking, how long will this continue before we face bigger consequences? According to these experts, space activity needs to be better managed, and organizations like SpaceX need to do more than just commenting that this was within their analysis. Mr. Blake also commented that if indeed it was within their analyzed space, they were probably aware that this debris would fall somewhere in Australia. And while that makes the risk acceptable to an extent, he mentions that in such cases, open communication with Australia should be a norm. He also wondered whether a risk assessment was made with the country, and if not, it should have been done, instead of waiting to respond after an incident happened. Oof, seems like Australian space experts have a bone to pick with SpaceX executives. But they're not wrong, are they? In fact, as we said earlier, the space debris issue has escalated now, and it's probably not the end of it. In fact, the more crowded the skies, the more chances of falling debris on Earth. In fact, according to a study published in the journal Nature, researchers have calculated a roughly 10% chance that such debris will strike at least one or more people within a decade. Again, scary, and not the most ideal situation we're looking forward to. So what's the solution? Lucky for us, organizations in the US and other countries have already started working on revising decade-old rules on resolving this issue. FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosen-Worcel quoted that the rules they're currently following seem to be built for another era, and that the new space age needs new rules. About time they reached that conclusion. So what's the FCC doing now? First, they're looking into new ways to clean up orbital debris. As of now, there are thousands of tons of junk in space. Tracking, mitigating, and cleaning that up won't be easy, but the FCC is aiming to look at the potential to remediate and remove functions that could offer a prospect of safer orbital traffic without increased fallout situations, like the recent events that have happened. Another thing they're working on is building a record of all the parts from spaceships that could potentially cause incidents like the one in Australia. According to an FCC spokesperson, this could largely help them understand the implications that could be caused by debris fallout. If you asked us, we'd say that companies like FCC and other space agencies need to study such debris more to understand why certain parts of them didn't burn up while entering the atmosphere, because that is where the actual danger lies. According to Ted Mulhaupt, a consultant for the Aerospace Corporation's Chief Engineer's Office, SpaceX should collect their debris and then release a study of why theirs didn't burn on re-entry. This could really help other agencies learn too, because no matter what the agenda behind the space mission is, a responsible way to carry them out is everyone's responsibility, and it's high time we realize that before someone gets hurt in the process. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think can be done to prevent possible destruction via space debris? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.